This is Face to Face with the co-founders of the National Association of Expert Advisors, Jay Kinder and Michael Reese.
We believe that we can change the real estate industry. There is a better way to sell real estate.
Your success is ultimately a sum of the decisions that you make.
And they're really developing a process, a set of guidelines, a set of procedures.
They're also best-selling authors.
Here today to discuss the issue is Jay Kinder and Michael Reese.
We're live? We're live. All right. We made it. We're live. You there? I am your host of Face to Face. Along with Michael Reese, I'm Ron Burgundy. Ron Burgundy? We've been practicing our Ron Burgundy quotes for the last half hour or so. But thank you for joining us. Michael, how you doing today, my friend?
Man, I'm really excited.
We're looking forward to this new format. If you saw behind us, it looks like the entire mothership has landed here in the office with us here at our headquarters. So it took us a little while to get set up, but we are live and we're doing face to face. What do you know?
I like it.
I'm pretty excited about today. And you said something before we got started today that really rang true, and obviously is one of the things we're going to be talking about is scalability, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty excited about all the things that we're doing, all the things that we are doing as far as scalability and partner, and we've got some pretty exciting things to talk about if you're in Atlanta coming up as well. But I'll let you kind of kick it off, Michael.
Yeah, this face-to-face new format, we're going to be answering some questions. Our goal is to really give everybody an update. If you are in the Atlanta area, we're going to be coming to Atlanta, and we're actually looking for some partners to partner with. And so, do you want to go in and kind of show them what we're doing, or do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically what we've done is, for those of you who've been watching the podcast, you know what we've been up to with partner, and you're familiar with probably what that opportunity looks like. But for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with what that opportunity looks like, what we've done really in the past, and this has really been more what you've executed on in Dallas and then scaled now to Atlanta, is the ability to really have a much higher income as a partner, where we do a lot of the heavy lifting and keep you face to face, which is why the podcast is named Face to Face. What we've determined in the years of doing this is that you can make a lot more money in real estate when you're not trying to figure out lead generation. You're not trying to figure out how to hire and train buyer agents to call leads, and you stay face to face is really what we've experienced.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Absolutely. And so what you'll see probably here on your screen is a map of, I guess we'd probably call it Greater Atlanta. And what we've done is we built out a hub.
I can't see. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see.
I'm just kidding.
And basically this hub is it's built and designed to help power some partners that we're looking for in the Atlanta area. And so our goal first, just to kind of give you an update, is me and Jay are going to be flying in. It's going to be, the dates are going to be
September 8th.
September 8th. We're going to be doing a luncheon.
Yep, from 12 to 2.
From 12 to 2, and it's going to be at the 1818 Club. And that's kind
I
of
believe that's in Duluth.
Duluth, yep. It's
Right.
going to be in Duluth. So you should be able to see on your screen those details. It's going to be Thursday, September 8th, 2016, 12 to 2, the 1818 Club. And you can go to naea.com if you're in Atlanta, or you can actually, if you have anybody that's in Atlanta that that's an agent, tag them in the comments, share this with them. I promise it's going to be worth their time, energy, and effort. We'll treat them to a nice lunch. We're coming out there just to kind of give people the concept and introduce them to basically a better way of building a real estate business by helping people become the incredible Hulk in a puddle, if you will, and providing them the ability to do a better way of growing the real estate business.
Right, and no question about it, as you probably saw the territories up on the screen there. What we've basically done is the typical brokerage model, or even a team model for that matter, focuses on volume of agents, right? As many agents as you can get, and the average agent selling a couple of deals a month. We know the industry standard is very low at 8 transactions per year, but even in the team model, if you take the team leader out, you're looking at generally a couple of transactions per agent per month. What our goal is to partner with one agent per territory provide all the tools, all the systems, all the lead gen, and put that in place for you and keep you face-to-face on appointment so you're not having to do all of those things. Much more predictable business, much higher net income, and we only have one partner per territory. So I think that's really what the opportunity is. If you want to learn more about it, you should join us. Again, it's, I believe that URL, what's that URL again?
NAEA.com/Atlanta.
Atlanta, got it.
I
So,
feel like a news broadcaster.
I know, right?
I didn't. This is a new format for me, so I apologize.
And it doesn't help that I can see everything that's going on, right,
Yeah.
at the same time. So it's like, hey, how you doing over there? Where's that? The map's covering my face. So yeah, let's get into the content of this podcast and talk a little bit about scalability. I know this is something that, we've talked about it a lot, and I think at a surface level, everyone has a basic understanding of scalability, right? Scaling their business. And when they think scale their business, they think, well, let me add some more agents, or I'm going to go to a new marketplace and start, doing the same thing I'm doing here, there. What would you say are the maybe some of the differences, or maybe some of the lessons learned even? That you would say that you've learned as we've scaled our business and we really truly focused on nailing it before scaling it.
Yeah, so I think one of the main things is that fundamentally, when you scale your business, you have to understand that you have to have a scalable value proposition. And in our business, we have to have that. It has to be part of our model. There is a book we were talking about, which is it's a concept. It's a business model canvas, and in this concept, you have to understand the value proposition that your business has to offer. But in our business, what we did early on in building the business to scale was we started with, what is that value proposition to the consumer?
Right.
And so there's the value proposition to the consumer that makes your business more scalable, but really those people that have built teams that have built it around them have created a lid on their opportunity.
Right.
So it's how do they make their business more scalable? So it's really a duality of understanding the full model that you it's taking in a holistic approach of where you are today and what does it look like when you look back on the business, and really starting with the end in mind.
Right.
And saying, okay, I don't want to be locked into production because that's trying to scale Hero and you can't scale Hero. And so
that's a writer downer, by the way. That may be one of our new favorite quotes.
Yeah, it might be a shirt.
You can't. Yeah, a shirt you could probably get at EGS exclusively.
Right.
So, you can't scale Hero. And this was something actually that was mentioned to us by Mark Chesley, who is someone that we're working with on a very close level, is a super intelligent and very helpful expert in scaling businesses. And he, you can't scale Hero, and if you feel like you're the hero in the business, and you have to do it all and you're a part of everything and you feel that workload is heavy, then you're probably not ready to scale. There's probably something underlying in your business model that's missing. And that book, the business model canvas, I think what you mentioned is extremely important for everybody to get. What is the problem that you're solving for the consumer, or what is the problem that you're solving for the agent, right? So if you're a team, a lot of times and I was the same way. You got to understand, like, we've done everything you can possibly do, every possible way it can be done. If it can be done wrong, we've done it twice. So, we're certainly not saying, oh, we've got it all figured out. It's been, we did it perfect from the get-go. But when you really go back and study, and you really got to take yourself out of your business, like Michael was saying, and look down at your business as if you were starting over from scratch. What was missing from most of our businesses was a real value proposition for the consumer and a real value proposition for the agent, where the team model provided a little bit more value with some leads. We were basically bringing them on with an expectation of, hey, we need you to do open house on steroids. We need you to call all these leads. We need you to do all these things, and we're going to hold you accountable. And if you don't do them, I'm going to pull these leads from you and give them to somebody else. And the reality is, that's not really solving a problem for them.
One thing I think people might think we're not really live.
Right.
So I'm grabbing my phone just to.
I would like to interact, actually, because
I think that's important that people know that we are not up to any
shenanigans,
as Mr. My homeboy Frank Kern would say.
Not that we're above it, as he also would say.
So we are actually live, and let's see what the comments are out here in the Facebook Live world.
Who with us today? I can't see. I'm blind.
All right, looks like we got 6 shares, which is pretty remarkable. Yeah, I'm seeing it, so I'm gonna turn my volume down. But Tracy says love that. Yeah, a ton of people watching. So probably yeah.
I want to be able to interact, so let me get mine going here. All right.
So one thing, you know, with scalability is, as Jay was saying, is there's scalability in your lead generation model, there's scalability in your business model, but scalability is by design. One thing that everything that we do, we just have to ask a different question, because we're not really thinking from, can we do it in Dallas? We have to make sure that we understand how it's going to work in Atlanta, how is it going to work in Dallas, how is it going to work in Houston, all the way down to launching a new hub, to launching a new partner, to launching a new campaign, down to really, you know, it's not important if you have a one ISA business model, but if you have an inside sales, you know, department, then you have to make sure that everybody in that department understands all the processes and systems that are scalable, because it's not like one person might set the appointment.
Right.
It could be one person setting an appointment for a completely different person today versus yesterday versus the day before, which is a different dynamic when you're just trying to train one person, right? Because you have to be really system and process driven. And I'll tell you where it sounds small, but if your ISAs don't know your value proposition, or they set an appointment for a partner that doesn't know the value proposition, there's not that consistency of what I say I know is going to be what's said on the appointment.
Right. So you show up on the listing appointment, and this isn't a good lead, or whatever the case may be, because there's not a congruency as to what was said on the phone. So if you didn't train your ISAs, they might around a system and a process, and if you don't have training in place, and if you're that trainer, if you're the hero that has to do all the training and do everything else that goes along with scaling that business, you're going to run into some challenges in terms of where did they get trained on, and what systems are they going to use, and what happens in this scenario, that scenario. There's no question that's a key component. So let's dive into that. When it comes to the call center, there's a lot of different elements that you have really. I mean, it takes a superhero human being just to be. It really takes a superhero team. That's what it's taken to really like wrestle down those systems. What do you feel like? I mean, there was something yesterday that happened on the dialer that increased efficiency of one ISA by I want to say almost double or something crazy like that. I know there were 7 listing appointments set, but what are the takeaways from that, or what is something you could share that would be like what do we find that makes things more efficient?
Yeah. I would say one of the things that we have found, it's really the system and the process that we use. So there's a number of things into that. But I would say in that one scenario, to bring value to the viewer, the real reason why I think we're seeing some increase in productivity that in a scalable way is because we've increased our contact rate. And we've done that in a way that was very scalable, right? Because there is a process to who you call, when you call them. And listen, the one thing I can tell you is that if you're going to go build a call center, don't ever get to the point you think you got it figured out. Because, I mean, it's dimming, right? It's there's always this improvement. So you really have to approach the business from the mindset that there is a better way, that you can get better. But from a scalability factor, you have to understand the profitability in the entire model as it relates to, how do you measure success in the investment of this labor dollar? How do you monitor that? And more importantly, how do you make that success visible so that the person who's in that position knows if they're on the path to success or not, so that you can actually understand where to train them, or where, because again, some of the times you might have a process problem that you identify in your process to scaling. So you might think that something scales that didn't scale. And it's
generation.
Yeah, like what got you here won't get you there. Right. And so, a primary example is the tools that we're using are becoming so efficient that that literally I believe that our call center needs to have a water cooler, because your mouth will get dry from being on the phone all day. When you have an inefficient tool, just think about this. Is your call center, do you have the ability to have someone who's on the phone and literally tells you, can you please turn this thing off because I'm tired of talking to people? Or when you walk into your ISA, is he sitting there?
Ring,
right?
ring, like,
Right.
wait, ring, ring, ring.
Yeah, or how many did they call? Is it ringing? What is, like, we can see from here to Atlanta, across the call center function, we can see productivity per ISA, and we can really route. Those were just things that we had to consider. And the reason why that's important is, most important about this entire concept is in Atlanta, when we ripped the lid off of the opportunity to go out and build a hub that's servicing thousands of real estate transactions, that is a monumental concept. When you look at all of the opportunity nationwide, the referrals that are going to go through the network, building a distribution network of real estate services and providing a better way for the independent agent to become the local neighborhood, the keyword neighborhood expert,
right.
And really start to attract business and really put the momentum in the systems and the process that keeps them face to face. And also we're able to support and scale all of the things that are going to help them be productive or increase the productivity per agent. Man, that's just something that you can even tell in my tonality
Right.
that gets me excited.
Absolutely, no question. So another a big component of this has been the, what are they calling, right? So I think, I've talked to several folks that are good friends of ours that have, already started trying to, expand or move outside their own areas, which there's a ton of meat being left on the bone in your own area, which we've already discovered by, looking at it by rooftop density and how do we generate a lead in that neighborhood?
Right.
So being able to specifically go in and laser with a laser beam and focus on an area and be able to generate listings for a partner is a very intricate part of the process. But when you start scaling outside of your area, the number one problem you identify isn't the call center. It's usually lead generation first, right?
Right.
So what are you going to call? How are you going to set appointments? And what I've found is even the agents that have been a part of our mastermind in the past, or maybe have been in our camp at one level or another, they tend to go with the buy side of the business first, and because they think that's the most scalable, right? So, because if you start with the seller side, where do you go naturally is your first place to try to generate leads? FSBO and expired, right? Because that's how most of us built our businesses. We got good with FSBO expired, so we moved to that angle first.
Right.
And there's not much of that in today's market. There will be in the future, I'm sure, but you can't scale that. Even if you're not following a model like Partner, the question that, I'd like to know this.
Yes.
At what was the question that you were asking as you were looking at trying to scale densely? Maybe walk through the question you were asking yourself, and as you were solving that problem, and how you came to the conclusion of all the different lead pillars that we have, and how productive our ISAs are. I know they had 380 something nurtures this month, or something close to that.
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly.
Yeah.
I'm log in and take a look myself.
I would say that the number one thing was, what did it take to acquire a customer? And could that same investment be invested other ways? So it was this customer CAC, customer acquisition cost, that we fundamentally had an idea of a range. We knew what we couldn't spend. How about that?
Right.
And we had an idea of what we could afford to spend based upon the economic model. So the first thing is, the question that we asked was, is our assumptions right? And so we had a level of things that we assumed would work. And fundamentally, the biggest obstacle that happened was we could not literally scale certain lead generation. We had to nail scalable lead generation and how we constantly kept that top of funnel moving and creating it in a predictable way. And so that process, I can tell you the reason why people start with the buy side, and I've seen this. I've seen a guy, I won't even give any more information, but that he's a guy, because I don't want him or anybody to think I'm talking about them. But this person has a call center. We'll just leave it at that. And the funny thing is that I don't know if he knows. I mean, they're doing a really good job, but I see these appointments being set, and one day I was able to look a little bit more transparent as they were sharing the numbers. And what was fascinating with me was, my fascination was where almost more than half of them were buyers. So, you go on and say, we're doing this in productivity, but they're setting a bunch of buyer appointments, which is fine. I just want to understand the model, because your customer acquisition cost is going to be different from a listing versus a buy. And so really dialing in the model on the front end and asking yourself your question. If you're going to build a buyer ISA model, which I believe in an inside sales department, you're going to have speed of response.
Right.
You're going to have certain assumptions, and you're going to put those things in place. What order are you going to do it? And then what is the best way in order to get predictability in your inside sales department?
Right.
And I'm a big component. I mean, I think in Atlanta they do a phenomenal job. But as far as with the buy side, and I think there's a model there.
Right.
What I really, really am excited about is, being able to help a partner become successful in a very dense area, and being able to do it with the predictable sell side that generates buyers that are further in the stage.
This is the fundamental. I believe we talked about it, and maybe it was episode 3 or 4, or 2 or 3 maybe. You'll never double into listing if you don't take listings. And the fundamental issue with the business model of Team is we separate listings from the buy side. And when you do that, you separate the talent that you acquire, and you also separate the ability to attract, really to attract the level of talent that you would like to have on your team. So that's really one of the fundamental challenges I think that everybody's facing. You said something else I think that's important to maybe drill down a little deeper on, which is what the assumptions in your model. And we talked a little bit about this on a live stream the other day. It's worth talking about again because we haven't gone into detail on the podcast. Having assumptions in your business model is critical, right? So what happens when I feel like what happens when I'm having conversations with different folks that are doing this, they kind of skip the step. Their assumptions are not tied together by actual real. There's a number of appointments set and a number of deals done. There's missing the data in the middle of all the things that have to do. They're just like, man, if I get a bunch of agents and they all average 2 deals a month. Look how big I can build this thing, right?
What they want to do, not how they're going to do it.
Right.
Tied to an activity or an actual.
Right. So, maybe talk about the assumptions and how having the data and the financial model and how critical that piece is to being able to move faster and iterate faster. Because I think one of the things that's fascinating is the fact that the Dallas office has been around a year, and it's on pace to do 240 transactions this year. So not from scratch. It wouldn't be fair to say from scratch, but we really had not done what we were doing with Partner until July. And for it to be ramping that fast in such a short period of time.
That brings up a very interesting point.
Well, I'm interested to hear what you're thinking.
Well, I think the first thing that you have to do is, if you're stuck in production,
right,
we can help you.
Right. Greg Crabtree is one thing.
Right,
sure.
because Alex Piak, John Kitchens, Wally Bressler, the people, Karin, the people who've helped build and establish the hub. This is an amazing team of people.
Olympic. It's
Jeff,
any team you've seen on
Kelso,
the Olympics.
Everybody from the corporate hub to the local area hub, down to our partners in Atlanta. You have to attract talent, and you know how you attract talent? By creating opportunity.
Right.
And so the first thing is if the opportunity in your business is just for you to get your billboard out there and become is only for you, and you're not creating opportunity for other people, then you're not looking at the bigger opportunity.
Right.
You're just looking at a fraction of what could be done.
Right.
And I think that success is I think the people who've created the most value in this space at one time transcended their personal production to actually creating opportunity for people in other areas, right? So I think that's a proven, irrefutable principle for what you do if you want to really be a part of the people who've created the biggest movements in real estate and shifted our models and created the most value in the marketplace. And so I think that's what we're trying to do. What I've realized when you were talking is that some things that you struggle with is you have to be developing leadership. right? I mean, high level leadership. You are leaders creating leaders creating leaders, and you have to have communication systems. One of the things that is the most important thing out of everything I say on this podcast is John Kitchens walked into the office when we started because of a book, Scrum, and he wrote up on the board, communication saturation. If you don't have a vision to take over Atlanta, if you don't have a vision to take over, build a 2,000 partner nationwide, $1 billion movement to disrupt the real estate, if you don't have a vision, where there is no vision, the village will perish.
Right.
And people will never tap into that discretionary effort that they have naturally. What gets me excited? This is the stuff that gets me excited. Yep. It's not just doing just something to do something. And a lot of times we get people just asking to do what we want them to do. When you have a vision, they understand why they're doing it, how they're contributing to the vision, and that gives them that purpose. And so I want to not skip over that. Although that me and Jay are sitting up here on a podcast face to face, there's great people sitting in front of us that make all of these things happen. And if you want to just distill, it's the fifth discipline, I think, what is it? It's the fifth discipline, right?
Yeah.
There's a book called The Fifth Discipline, and it's about how important vision is. If you don't have a vision, we have one that you can subscribe to, hopefully, a vision within a vision. If you want to go there quickly, go alone.
Right.
If you want to go there far, go together. We've always wanted to build fires upon fires, and a big enough fire where everybody can stay warm and eat. And I think at the end of the day, if you want to attract talent, you better have a vision where there's an opportunity for that talent to grow, and you better create a leadership path for those individuals, and you better get out of your own way, and it better not be about you, and you better put everything about you on the side and really start looking at something outside of yourself. And I don't know why I went there. What I saw is I saw those people that have helped us get there watching this podcast, and I saw, them seeing us and knowing that that at the end of the day, the reason why when you walk into a room, they're putting in that effort. The reason why people are working as hard as they've worked is because they believe. And at the end of the day, we take it day by day. We know we're wrong. We're going to figure out where we're wrong. But if you don't think, and let me just say, and this isn't on cue. I'm just saying, I had to talk to a guy, and he said, "Why should I come to EGS?" And I told him, and he was a person that, listen, you shouldn't come to EGS. You've been through all the coaching that I've been through. The reason you should come to EGS is because there's an opportunity that you might truly miss out on. And so this gentleman was a mastermind member, quality. When I say quality, people don't understand. In our mastermind members, these are our friends. These are the people that you find your personal time on a plane and go to their house and spend time with their family, right? And these are the people that we talk to in the mornings of the weekends and on the drive homes at night. Yeah. These are the people that are out there that have been bought into the vision, that have been asking us, what do we need to do to be ready?
Ride or die, just
right?
like Wes Dorsey posted, ride or die.
Right.
What's up, Albie? What's up, Jason?
These are the people that have been there, and what has probably moved me the most has been when we brought in Mark Chesley, a brilliant leader who has helped distill down models and frameworks and how to think to make our vision a reality and help us work even more efficiently. Even Alex Sharfin, who was willing to contribute and give us advice and was more excited about what we were doing than we were doing.
Right.
Not truly, but he definitely rubbed off on his excitement.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, we have this mastermind. If you don't know about it, let me just briefly I owe it to you that our mastermind is comprised of probably 30 members, and about 29, 30 members, and it's you don't see us promote it because it's not something. It is something that's dialed into the vision, but it's became. There's always been this question, which is, I get text messages all the time. Al Stasic says, "Hey, I checked my text message. You're not ready. Just let me know when I need to be on a plane so that we can build the hub here." Those things from Silicon Valley to Cleveland, Ohio, we have people that have been patiently waiting. And so our mastermind has the thing I'm most excited about is what we've come up with to release at EGS, which is what we call the path to partner. We've only been trying to answer the question. No different than Elon Musk, who started with the high-end car. We want to work from the top and create opportunity down in our in execution of our strategy. So we've been looking for those individuals that want to create opportunity in the marketplace and want to pull the lid off and are truly at least curious if there's a better way for them than what they're currently doing. Because if they're probably doing the same thing. What's that Dan Sullivan question from 3 years ago? They're probably doing the same thing that they were doing 2 years ago. It's probably not but 5 or 10% more, and they don't have a clear they don't have a path that they believe in.
Right.
That they believe 100%, no different than when they believed when they got their real estate license that they could sell a home. There's nothing that excites them with that same passion and that same belief that they can go out and build something, that thing that makes them stay up late and get up early and constant. That it's like what keeps them up at night.
Right.
And now when what I've seen is people who've been a part of our mastermind, they see it, they spend time with us, and they get to understand more. And if you haven't, go check out the Face-to-Face podcast. This is a business model that is in alignment for people that are literally looking to find a better way and looking to grow and really wanting to provide value to the marketplace. That can be defined as Atlanta, Dallas, San Francisco, LA, Seattle, all of those places. If you're somewhere and you're just somewhat interested, just somewhat, briefly, then go to naea.com/mastermind, because what's going to happen is people are going to come in before EGS, the Exponential Growth Summit, the thing that helped a lot of agents irrefutably build their business. And these are going to be the people that have been there in the trenches with us for the last 4 or 5 or 6 years, and we're going to be making monumental progress between each mastermind. Where I thought would have taken a year, we've done in 90 days. We are exponentially growing towards the vision. We're going to be making those announcements, and the people that are in that room are going to be the people that align with us, at least to get on the path with us, because we actually have a solution that we're going to announce. And that's why you would come, not because you would be humble. The meek shall inherit the earth. You are humble enough to think that there is a better way and that you can provide value not only to you but to other people in your marketplace through helping people. And you have a vision and you're interested and you're curious, and so you said, you know what, I'm going to at least go there and fill this out, because you know what could 5 minutes of my time actually end up? Because in the moments of decision, your destiny is shaped. And I'm telling you right now, if you have any ambition to work with us at any level, and there was ever a time, we actually think we finally figured out a way to work with the people that we want to work with the most. And even but that opportunity is limited. It just is by default. It just is. So I don't know. I feel like I got on a tangent.
Yeah, you man, everything you said was right. You know what I'm saying? And I think the thing about, becoming a part of Mastermind or just getting involved is, when I talk to somebody who I know we can help, like I feel like one of the challenges that people face is they're in their business every single day, and like when you think about like that passion that we have right now that's keeping us up, working 18-hour days. I haven't had that, in a long time, because
you want to.
Right. Because I didn't see this opportunity materializing through a coaching or through I didn't see it as a possibility. I didn't, just like I used to look at my real estate business, and I didn't think I'm going to sell this for multiple millions of dollars someday. I didn't ever look at my real estate business as that kind of an opportunity, because I didn't know that kind of opportunity existed. And I think the big thing that I hope everybody is getting is, you may not be seeing what your real opportunity is in your business because of your business model, the way that you have your business model currently set up. There's a much bigger opportunity. There's a lid. We all know there's a lid. The lid used to be, when I first got started, the lid was 500 until I cracked 500 deals. Then I was, I did as much as I felt like I wanted to do. And then there was like, let's get to 1,000. How many times have you gotten to, 300, 500, 700, only to have to restructure and rebuild your culture and do it again? That is inherent of a problem in the value that you're providing to your team, the opportunity that's being created. And that's really what the underlying foundation that's missing, that if you nail, you can scale. If you don't nail, you can't scale. And that's what happens is you get that car going, like we've said before, rocking at 80, 90 miles an hour, and the thing is shaking, and you're just like, oh, come on, baby, a little bit more. She got a little more in her. Come on, let's get to 1,000. You ain't going to get there. It's not going to get there. Like you're going to run the wheels off of that car. And I'm telling you, you can get your life back. There's a better business model that allows you to have the quality of life that you want, and more importantly, you get to work with the people that you want to work with all day, every day. Like doing something together, making a difference, building something that has value, that gives you the ability to monetize and have an exit strategy. Or if it's scalable, it's not a hero with 1,000 helpers. You can't scale hero. So you have the ability to step away from that business. And I think it's an amazing opportunity. It's amazing that nobody's really capitalized on it. But you know what it boils down to? Nobody has said, I want to help one agent be so successful that that's all I'm going to worry about is making that one agent successful in this area. Nobody has said that in the industry. And you know what no one else has done? No one else has said, we're going to create a strategy where we go to the consumer and we're going to win the consumer with a better value proposition, and we're going to have the balls to stand behind it and say, we're going to hold all of our agents to a higher standard in the industry. We're not going to allow our agents to, there's one in Houston that I just was seeing on the news bulletin. There are friends, I can't remember whatever it is, somewhere in Texas, that got caught sleeping in getting laid in one of her listings and got thrown in jail. That is not someone who is an expert advisor. That is not someone that's a realtor. We're all in the same pool together, unfortunately, until you differentiate by providing more value to the consumer. When you're providing more value to the consumer, now you can create a defining gap between us and everyone else. Now you can hold each other to a higher standard. Now you can create something of real value. Now you can really put a ding in the universe. And I think that until you take a step back and say, man, you know what? How do I provide more value to you? You can't look, I'm telling you right now, you can sit in your office, you can close the door, and you can think about this and reflect on it. Think about every single person in your company. Think about the names of the people who've come and gone. Think about the names of the people who've come and gone onto bigger opportunity because they didn't see opportunity in what you had to offer. Think about all the agents that you have that are out there pounding the phones, trying to be successful, and look at their number of deals per month they're doing. And if they're not doing more than 2 deals per month, you got to ask yourself a question about, are you adding the value? Do you really have the business model that allows them to extract the value and have the quality of life that you want them to have? Because I don't doubt that you want them to have a higher quality life. We all want them to sell more houses, but the opportunity that we have for them and only focusing on giving them buyer leads or separating that out and listing leads and getting paid on the the back end or this or that or the other. There's all these different ways we try to make it work. We've done, how many different ways have you tried to do it? Let me get a buyer agent. Let me get a showing assistant. Let me, we'll leave the listings over here, buyers over here. We've done everything you can do to try to monetize that, pay someone hourly, all these things, all to solve the wrong problem. We're not solving the right problem. How do you add the most value to one person, and then how do you do that over and over and over? That's what you want to scale. That's where you start. So you got me on a tangent, son. Boom. Love it. So hopefully we rattled your cage, man. Hopefully we rattled your cage enough to be like, y'all sons of guns might just have something here. But anyhow, I don't know if we have anything else we want to talk about. I don't have any other notes that I feel compelled to share. I'm absolutely looking forward, and there's a little bit of a delay in the comments. Otherwise, we'd probably be more interactive with you, I think. But we will be in Atlanta, and we're coming to Atlanta in a couple weeks. So we'll see you guys there. We're looking forward to that. We gave all the details on all of that, and pay attention. Pay attention to that because it's going to be pretty exciting. I think you're going to be pretty pleased with our rock stars out that area. What you got?
This is just a comment. This is 7 minutes ago in our mastermind group. What does it say?
Expert data. Oh, what? Hey, you guys, what's good with this? What's good with this expert data? Cold data sucks. White pages sucks. Vulcan Red X is pretty good, which is true. He's got it in the right order. But 5 numbers for most addresses. Trying to work on my efficiency of my ISAs because he's the boss. Asking the right questions. Working down the path of trying to become more efficient. Love it.
Yep.
Who else we got? Anything else? Nope.
Put your comment. Our goal is to be going live. It'll probably be more like 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. We'll post as we get that dialed in. But our goal is to be able to do this format for our podcast every Friday. So yeah, we'd love you to post live your feedback Also, if you haven't checked out the Face-to-Face podcast, there is a ton of podcasts. This episode is actually just getting started. Do we want to go over the agenda at all, or talk through the agenda?
I think we can cover. If you want to see the agenda for the Exponential Growth Summit, for the most part, it is all pretty clear and up there. You can go to attendegs.com and read through the agenda, what the things we're going to be talking about. There's really two kind of tracks really this year for that agent that's a potential partner in the area of an MSA. And then for you big guns, I highly recommend you go to naea.com/mastermind and get in on the front end of this because that's where the opportunity really is at that point. So for you, if you're at that level, and if nothing else, we're going to peel back the curtain. You're going to see everything that we're doing. We're going to share that with everybody. That's just how we are. We're transparent. We're going to try to add as much value as we can. So we'll see you at EGS. We're looking forward to it. It's, as always, going to be a heck of a show. We've got some little surprises for you and some entertainment, and it's going to be a good time. So looking forward to seeing everybody there. Anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, face to face, we will either see you at the top
Or from the top.
Y'all make it a great day. Have a great weekend.